Guys, we're here in Eureka Springs. Those of you know, I like riding over here to Eureka Springs. Today, we are going to visit the Eureka Springs, or the Inspiration Point Volunteer Fire Department. And the fire chief, Phil Kimball, will be telling us about some cool equipment that they have. So be sure to tune in and listen to what he has to say coming up next. Good morning from Eureka Springs Inspiration Fire Department, and we're here with the fire chief, Phil Kimball, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Tell us about this awesome machine you're standing in front of.
Well, this awesome machine back here is actually an Iraq War veteran. This truck, after doing a little bit of history on it, it spent some of its life over in the desert on one side of Iraq while I was in the other. So we've chewed a little bit of the same sand together. We got this thing off of a program through the government. This truck, when it came to our department, actually only cost our department $5, and that was just for the registration. But we're real proud of this truck. Our engine sitting over here, this truck originated from New York. We wound up with it. There's very few of them left in the entire United States. Has four-wheel drive. Just a short, sweet history on this. This truck was originally designed for a rural fire department such as ours. So needless to say, we're a little bit proud of what we got. We do what we can to take care of things. When we have a chance, we get the little kids up here. We'll stick them in these trucks, let them blow horns and things like that after they have some of those awesome auxiliary pancakes like we had this morning. But we are in the greater Eureka Springs area. Our department, Inspiration Point Fire Department, is located approximately 6 miles west of Eureka Springs. So if you're ever in the Eureka Springs area, stop by the station, say hello.
And this morning you're doing what?
We're having another pancake breakfast. This is going to be the last fundraising event for the year. Our auxiliary, these ladies, they work real hard trying to help support the fire department, and we as the fire department, we work real hard in spending all the money that they earn.
Well, of course, isn't that your job?
That's the chief's job.
Yeah.
They make the money, I spend it.
Right. I could
it's a great trade.
It's a great relationship, right?
Yes, ma'am. I love it.
So do you do your pancake breakfast the same weekend in November every year?
It can be a little bit sporadic. I believe next year we'll probably actually do more pancake breakfasts.
Okay.
You know, and honestly, as a firefighter, I like to eat. So pancakes and sausage goes a long way with me.
That's right. So you said this is a tanker. What how much water does this hold?
This tanker here, and if I get caught too many times saying tanker, then the fire service, we actually call this a tender.
Okay.
But this particular tender right here, this has a capacity for 2,000 gallons of water. And out here, if you ever visit the Eureka Springs area, outside of the city limits, you will notice we have no fire hydrants. So we supply all of our own water. So what this truck's main job is just keep the water coming. It'll roll out to a structure fire or ground fire. We'll drop this tank right here that holds up to 3,500 gallons of water. This truck will back up to it. We release the lever, put all that water into that holding tank, and then this truck will roll out and go get more water.
Okay, so where does the water go in? Because I don't know these things.
Now we got a couple of different ways, but the preferred method right over here, if we're using a hydrant, let's say we go help Eureka Springs with a structure fire, we can pull up on the hydrant, grab a hose, hook to the hydrant and this truck, flip a lever, and it all goes right into the tank.
And then it comes out the big?
Yeah, we just flip. If I were to pull this lever right here, we'd be wet.
Yeah. Yeah, don't do that.
2,000 gallons of water, we can drop all that water in a matter of about 45 seconds.
Wow.
Yeah. Big hole, big water.
Yeah. Very impressive. Yeah, big fire. Awesome.
But again, we have to supply our own water. But, you know, we have a great relationship with all of our neighboring departments. Some of these departments I've signed either automatic aid agreements with or mutual aid. So if we get called, if any department gets called to a structure fire, we all come running. We're going to supply water. We're going to supply engines to fight the fire. We're going to send personnel. We're going to send firefighters there to help rotate these guys. Because I don't know if anybody's ever run into a burning building, but after about 20 minutes, you're done. You're exhausted. So we try to switch these guys out, get them a little rehab, rehydrate them so that we can, eventually send them back in. But again, our neighboring departments, we love all of them. Eureka Springs Fire, Holiday Island Fire, Grassy Knob Fire. What I like to say about the fire service, whether you're a full-time paid combination department or all volunteer, it's all one big fire service, one big family. Anybody that supports the red line, even the blue line, you're more than welcome at my fire department anytime. You need something, you call, we haul.
Yeah, amen, brother. I hear you. Well, Chief, we appreciate your time. And if you're in the Eureka Springs area, be sure to stop by. And the next pancake or whatever fundraiser these guys are having, show up and support them.
In fact, in January, we're planning our next community fire and life safety education meeting.
Great.
We're going to be teaching some hands-only CPR. I'm going to be teaching some fire prevention for your home. We're going to have some giveaway like smoke detectors, carbon monoxide detectors, fire extinguishers. So y'all come out.
And do y'all have a Facebook page?
Yes, ma'am, we do. It is Inspiration Fire Department on Facebook. Look us up, check us out, follow us. I'm always putting some neat information out there.
Good to know.
Love my fire department, love my community. That's why we do it.
Absolutely, it's in the blood.
It absolutely is. I love to fight fire. Actually, a piece of the Inspiration Point Fire Department history. The Inspiration Point Fire Association actually started this department way back when, 1981. And then right around, I believe, if my history's right around 2011, they actually formed the district where we could start collecting the fire dues through a tax-based system with the county. It takes a lot of the workload off of our folks, but we're really proud of our association. We're really proud of our district board members. They really support and benefit the fire department. But this particular truck right here, this was actually donated by the Holiday Island Fire Department and the Western Carroll County Ambulance District. And we got our hands on it between myself and the deputy chief. We started coming up with ideas of how we wanted to rig this thing out. So since this truck went into service, it's responded to 98% of all the calls that have gone out since it went in service. And this is used for rescue operations. We can do low angle rescue off of this truck. We have hitch points here. We have some in the back, and then we've also have a hitch point up here on the front with a winch.
So let me ask you, what is low angle?
A low angle rescue is we have to use ropes. Most of the accidents that we work out here on Highway 62, the cars are going to go off the embankment. So we set up this low angle rescue system, and what it does is it assists the rescuers in getting that patient or victim back up to the roadway so that we can get them.
Well, I was assuming that, but just wanted to clarify.
Oh yeah, there's a lot to it. But we'll start in this cabinet here. This is where we keep most of our medical supplies. We have a medical rescue bag right in here. This is Brian's personal medical vest with a lot of medical supplies. We do carry an AED. We also have a Lucas device so that when we get on a patient, let's say they're having a heart attack, we need to be doing some CPR. We can hook this to them. This will do the CPR for them. We can supply oxygen while, we're triaging or doing whatever else needs to be done with that patient. We always carry some extra blankets. If we do river rescues, quite a bit. Part of the White River runs
Oh,
through our district,
yeah.
and that water is always cold. If you've ever been to Eureka Springs and down on the White River, the Beaver Tailwaters, you will know that you don't want to go swimming. And if you do, it ain't going to take you long.
Probably even in the summer, it's still cold, isn't it?
Yeah, summertime, the average water temperature is probably going to be somewhere around 48 to 50 degrees. But over here in this cabinet, this is where we keep all of our rope rescue equipment for that low angle rescue we were discussing. We have our rope bag that has carabiners, it has pulleys, it's got everything. We pull 3 bags out, everybody starts deploying. We'll have one guy setting up the actual rope rescue system while other people are getting geared up to go grab our victim. And then as we come around, this is the back of our cab. We just call it the box.
You call it the what?
We just call it the box.
The box. Okay.
Now, in the wintertime, it produces heat. We can get our responders or victims back here, get them warmed up a little bit. Summertime, exactly the opposite. The air conditioner's so good in this thing, you can hang deer meat back here. But we have a little bit of everything on this truck. So if you look in here, this is our Stokes basket. We'll implement this with part of the low angle rope rescue system to get our victims or patients back up to the roadway. We can secure them. You'll have a few guys clip on to the sides. We'll get them back up to the road. Over here, just a few pieces of equipment here. We have a blower. A lot of times you get out on a, let's say a ground fire, leaf blower comes in real handy. What we call in the fire service, put it all back in the black. So you're blowing the fire back on top of what's already been burned.
Okay.
We have a chainsaw. We have a lot of trees that like to come down, block our roadways. We're able to clear those fairly quickly. Up here in the yellow box on the right side top, that's a thermal imaging camera. We get on scene of a structure fire. We can use that to help us find those hot spots. We've got some dry sweep or absorbent. We get on accidents. We have oil, gas, hydraulic fluid on the roadway. We can get that cleaned up, help protect our environment. And then over here on the other side of the box, you'll notice we have 2 self-contained breathing apparatus. This is what we use to put on our backs to run into hot, smoky structures. We supply our own air while we're doing structural firefighting. And then also you might have to swing over this way just a hair bit. These are some of our roadway signs, just letting the general public know, hey, we have an incident going on. You may want to start slowing down and use caution. And then, of course, we are a fire department. We love our fire extinguishers.
Of course.
We like to keep them nice and handy. But it's actually our deputy chief that rigged this thing out. I love this guy. He's my right arm, my left leg, and both my kidneys.
Nice.
But as we start swinging back around on the other side here, this is our vehicle extrication cabinet. Almost anything that we need to be able to cut somebody out of their car and be able to stabilize that vehicle while we try to pull the patient or the victim out will be located in here. What we have, this is a PowerHawk system. We're extremely proud of this thing. A lot of guys, they like to use the bigger stuff like the Hearst or the Genesis, things like that. Well, with the way that we do things, it's not always ergonomical. This one, it's a little bit lighter, easier to manipulate, and to get into those tight spots, we can release this wheel here and actually swing this thing over. You get a little bit better bite, just depending on what's going on. But everything we do, we try to keep it nice and easy and simple.
And what is the gold thing?
This here and this here, this is auto cribbit. So what we can do is place this underneath the vehicle. We just kind of lift up on it and it'll lock that vehicle in place, stabilize it. In here is just, these are different tips. Some of the charging cables for the PowerHawk system. Right up here, we have a battery-powered sawzall. You know, we can cut some of the posts on a vehicle, cut a hole through the roof if we need to. And over here, this is a glass cutter. We can actually just pop a hole, stick the saw in, and cut that glass off your vehicle.
Wow.
And up here. So this is kind of a miscellaneous thing. Our deputy chief, this is here his gear bag with all his structural firefighting gear. He actually lives on site at our station 2 where this truck is housed. So it's real nice, quick, and easy for him to be able to just jump in the truck and go. When you're talking about firefighting and accidents that may happen on the roadway, time is of the essence. You know, we want to get there fast. We want to get on that victim. We want to get on that fire and start mitigating that incident. But we have some extra hand lights that we can use on scene. We've also got our battery charging ports right here in this cabinet.
Man, this is decked out.
Oh, we love this truck.
Decked out.
I always like saving the best for last. So when we got this truck, started putting it together, the deputy chief, you know, I totally gave him free range, but I said, look, this is a one condition thing. It has to have, must have. Somewhere on this truck, the chief's got to have a coffee pot. My guys know what it's like at 3 a.m. in the morning. The chief shows up on scene and he doesn't have coffee. It's going to be a long day.
It is not pleasant.
So over here, I like to call this the chief's cabinet.
Let's see that.
So over here is part of the rehab portion of this truck. We actually have hot and cold water.
I see that.
And we have a Keurig. So the chief can have hot chocolate. The chief can have some fresh coffee. We have some snacks down here in the bottom, some crackers, cookies, things of that nature. And some of our roadway incident.
Your own Dixie cup dispenser.
Yes, ma'am. Only the best.
Only the best.
Only the best. So
that is amazing.
You know, here at the Inspiration Point Fire Department, we've put in a lot of work. We've come a long way. We've got that ball rolling, and my philosophy is once the ball starts rolling, you don't let it stop. We're not taking steps back. We will only take steps forward. But I don't do it by myself. One thing I will definitely tell you is everyone on this fire department is my family. I love each and every one of them. I trust them with my life. They work hard. They definitely give the chief a hard time, but it's all done out of love.
Isn't that a requirement?
It is. It is. It's the fire service. It's the way it works. If we're not giving each other a hard time, it means we don't like you.
Right, right.
So whenever this video is over, I promise I'm going to give you a whole rash of crap.
Awesome. And thank you to some volunteers. And
this young man over here and this young lady, this is Ed and Margie Thompson. Mr. Ed there, when I joined this fire department a little over 7 years ago, he was my chief.
All right. Well, thank you for your service, sir.
And this is Miss Margie over here. She's a huge fan of the fire department, always supporting us. In fact, just a few years ago, this young lady actually made me a handmade quilt.
Oh,
it was
nice.
Awesome. All of my favorite colors, red, white, and blue.
Yep. Hey, that's mine too.
Hey.
That's awesome. Thank you guys for coming out and supporting. Again, they had the pancake breakfast this morning. And Chief, thank you so much for your time.